setting the stage. Which dentist office would you prefer? Obviously there's a drab-on with a medical style window. This one actually doesn't even have a reception desk. The front office person is not a front office person, they're a reception person. They come up to you as you walk in the door, they take you and they seat you directly. I mean, you don't have a chance to enjoy this area because you're back there. Okay, and there's enough places, the scheduling's figured out. These are things you have to figure into your stage. How do your patients see your practice when they first walk in? Now here's warm color, smells like fresh baked cookies. Gourmet coffee bar. If you can't see this one down here, it says wine. So I don't know the legalities of that, but
who cares?
I would guess. I won't tell if you won't tell.
Yeah.
But if you look at those two examples side by side, which one would you rather go into? I mean, you're all dentists. Obviously, you're going to pick the bottom. We talked about the senses. Sight, smell, feel, taste, and hear. An 11-year-old that was actually, I don't know if it was a son or daughter of somebody that worked at Disney in the early years, developed or started this concept of five sensing in customer service. And five sensing is when you walk in, you have to take into account all five senses. You can't just have what they see. So the color of your walls or the carpet, isn't going to make the difference. You got to take into effect of what they smell. Okay, in this case, it's fresh baked cookies. What they taste, what they hear. We went to a sushi restaurant, my wife and I, the other night. First thing I sat down and we looked at each other. Like, it's different in here. And the key is there was no music. There was no music playing throughout the area. And if you walk into, say, a Target or a Walmart, you'll walk in sometimes and you'll be like, there's something not quite right. And it'll either be in between CDs, maybe their radio station cut out on them, somebody forgot to turn it on in the morning, but it really gives you a sense of smelling the bad in the practice, or smelling the bad in the area. It just doesn't give you a good sense of welcoming. The drill noises obviously aren't comforting to a lot of people, and there's not a lot of ways that you may be able to cover those up in some cases, but you have to take all of this into account. And did I forget one? Sight, smell, feel. Feel. Your furniture, is it hard? Is it soft? Is it old? Is your couch so old that you sit directly on the springs even when you sit down on the cushion? What year were your magazines printed? All of these things take into this concept of five sensing. And I'm going to stick a little bit on this stage because I don't know if we cover it anywhere else. But it's a big concept. Disney does this absolutely great, and we can go into Disney models and Disney models. I haven't been to Disney in the last 10 years, but one thing that shocked me about Disney when I was there is there was a bum, a hobo, on the park bench. Looked like he was sleeping. Okay, he was covered up with newspapers, and we ran into an Imagineer at the breakfast we were going to, and he told us about their new plans for Space Mountain. They were going to remake it and do all this, and the submarine was going to become a spaceship and all this stuff. And I asked him, I said, well, why do you let bums, hobos, into Disneyland? Like, where, is this guy on the side of the street with, will work for food or will work for Disney tickets? Like, how is he getting in? And the Imagineer said, well, that's not a hobo. That's our security. We don't want security guys running around with badges and hats and billy clubs spoiling your fun. So we put hobos off in corners, hidden. They're not dirty hobos, but they're off in the corner. And if you go to Disney, I don't know if they've changed it because of 9/11 or any security concerns, but I would guess they still employ this use of the stage. They don't want that feeling that you're being watched by security. But yet, you're safe because there's a hobo here, there's one over in the corner, there's one hiding out in the back of Cinderella's castle. So they've got it covered, but the sense of feeling there, if you drive by a police car, your foot instantly goes to the brakes. Okay? You stop. Well, sometimes, Jerry, sometimes. But you instantly go for the brakes. So in Disneyland, they don't want that feeling of, oh, I got to stop having fun. Here's a blue-clothed police officer that I need to quit laughing and be serious about. Number 2, Jerry talked about Nordstrom. You walk into Nordstrom, every Nordstrom has a piano in it. Okay? Most of the times, at least the busy times, there's somebody there playing the piano. It drowns out a lot of noise. Okay, but you walk in and it's that high quality. It's not piped in piano noise, it's the piano playing. And it's a guy sitting there with a tip jar and a piano. It really gives you a feeling of being more. I walk into some places like that and I'm like, oh, I'm not worthy of this. Like, this is customer service beyond my expectations. I don't feel like I belong in Nordstrom. Another thing, if you notice at Nordstrom, when they hand you your bags, when you buy something, you sit at the counter, they type it in the cash register, you put your stuff in a bag, they never hand it over the counter. Ever. They always walk around the counter and they hand it to you. And it's a little step like that that sets the stage. They're not dealing with a barrier. They want you to know that they're there. They hand you the bag. And many of you that shop at Nordstrom may not have ever noticed that before, but it's something that happens every single time.